Hello everyone, DeepSeek V4 has just released with a massive 1 million context window and a 300k output limit, and today I'm going to test how to use this dirt cheap model to build complete apps in a single prompt. So stop paying for high API bills and start using this V4 model today to fix your entire code bases. Let's dive in. This Chinese AI lab DeepSeek has just released their V4 version, and it is a total game changer for developers who want to save some real cash. We are talking about two different models, V4 Pro and V4 Flash. V4 Pro has massive size of 1.6 trillion, while V4 Flash has 284 billion parameters. This 1.6 trillion size makes a V4 family the largest open weight model out there right now. And both of these models pack an impressive 1 million context window, which means you can dump entire textbooks into this model without it freezing up. It is completely open source and also has API-based service as well, so you don't have to pay for premium prices of ChatGPT or Claude anymore. The cost to performance ratio of this model is completely unmatched. Today I'm going to give this model 5 different test cases to build, test, and break these models to see if these models can actually replace your daily workflows. Forget context windows for a while. This model has an impressive 384k max output capabilities, which developers are simply calling comical because it feels almost illegal to generate that much text at once. For example, this user asked it to generate a complete HTML-based OS and it gave that 100kb file directly. It means you can ask the AI to rewrite a massive multi-file code base and it actually finishes the job without stopping halfway through. So no more typing, please continue like a desperate developer begging for the entire code base. It just builds the whole thing in one go. We'll test this extreme output limit later in the video, but let me tell you, this completely changes the way how we build apps. Now let's talk about the cost of these models. DeepSeek has the best cost structure for this Flash model among all the frontier AI models out there because it just costs you $0.14 per million of input tokens and $0.28 per million of output tokens, which is the cheapest among the GPT, Gemini, or Claude models. While the Pro version of the same model costs $1.7 and $3.5 per million input and output tokens. To put that into perspective, you can run a multi-agent coding system for an entire day and it will cost a fraction of money compared to the latest Claude or GPT models. So why pay $5 to Claude Opus 4.7 when you can get 90% of quality for less than $2 using the new V4 Pro models? It is actually no-brainer for heavy backend tasks. Now if you look at the benchmark numbers, it has very good scores in agentic capabilities, real-world knowledge, and world-class reasoning. And compared to the Claude Opus 4.6, GPT 5.4, and Gemini 3.1, it is actually outscoring most of the models and scoring at par in the agentic capabilities benchmarks, which is really impressive as this is an open source model. Which is really impressive because this is an open source model, unlike the other AI models which are closed source. So now time for a live coding test. I'm going to go to chat.deepseek.com, and for live demo I'm going to use the instant mode for now. And for comparison, I have the latest Qwen model, which is Qwen 3.627b. Here also I will use the fast version, and from Claude AI I have the fastest version, which is Haiku 4.5. First I'm going to test its logical and reasoning capabilities by asking it to find a heavy gold coin among the silver coins using a balance scale only twice. So I'm going to give it this prompt which says that I have 5 identical sealed boxes. Inside one box is a heavy gold coin and the other 4 contain the lighter silver coins of equal weight. Then I have a balance scale that can be used only twice, and I'm asking it a step-by-step process how it can find the gold coin only using the 2 tries. Then I'm asking it to give the output in a JSON format. I'm going to give the same prompt at the same time to all the 3 models, and now DeepSeek has already started the generating. Qwen model is still thinking, while Claude model has also started generating the final output. So now this is the output for the DeepSeek model. It has given the step-by-step instructions and the final solution in a JSON also. So in the first step it is saying that put 2 boxes on left pan, 2 boxes on right pan, leave one aside. If we are getting a balanced result, then it is saying that the gold coin is the one that is left aside, which is correct. And if it is unbalanced, then take whichever is the heavier side. Then do the second weighing, in which we'll weigh one of the heavier sides against the known silver box, which is taken from the lighter side. Then from the result of the second test, the heavier would be the one identified as the gold coin. So we only took 2 weighings and we found the gold coin easily. Now let's look at the Qwen results. For easier comparison, I have loaded them side by side. So Qwen is saying the first action would be compare the 2 suspect box from the heavier side of the first weighing. So I'm seeing like it has given only the final step here. It has skipped the first step in the final JSON output. Let's check the step-by-step strategy. So in the initial step, it is taking the 5 boxes. In weighing 1, it is placing 2 boxes on left and 2 boxes on right. Then again, it has given the same case A and case B. But in the final JSON, it has not given the first step output. So this is not exactly right, but it has given the complete step-by-step, but in just the JSON format, there is a mistake. Now let's look at the Claude output. Again, it has given the solution that divide the box into 2 groups. Then place the group A on the left side, group B on the right side. Then if the left side is heavier, then the gold coin is either 1 or 2, otherwise 3 or 4. And if balanced, then gold coin is in the box 5. Let's look at the JSON output directly. It has given a detailed JSON output here. In first weighing, it is saying that take the box 1 and 2 and put it in the left pan. Then take box 3 and 4 on right pan. Set aside box 5. Possible. Then it has given all the strategies for the different possible outcomes. Left heavier means gold coin is in 1 or 2. Right heavier means 3 or 4. Balanced means 5. And in the second weighing, it is saying that only the first weighing was not balanced. And weigh the 2 suspicious boxes against each other. Take one of the box from the group 1. Keep it in the left pan and keep the second box in the right pan. The heavier side contains the gold coin. Then finally, it has given the guarantee that the gold coin is identified within exactly 2 weighings. So Claude has also given the correct output and DeepSeek has also given the correct output, and both for the fastest as we had seen initially. So if you're building fast response agents, DeepSeek and the Claude models are outperforming the Qwen models in this test. Now in the second test, I'm going to test these models on heavy tool calling use cases. I'm going to ask them to manage a complete file system without hallucinating on different commands. I've opened them side by side to get the speed test done live on screen. I'll paste the same prompt on all the three. So this prompt is first assigning the role that it is an autonomous agent managing a file system. First, I need to create a directory called system logs. Then inside that, we need to create three different Python files called authorization, network, and DB. Then I want logs for all these classes, so I'm asking that you should write a basic logging class into each. Then next task is to delete any file ending with .tmp. And finally, it should provide exact sequential function calls that is required to complete all of these tasks, assuming standard position X file system tools. So I'm going to press submit on all three at the same time. Now you see DeepSeek has started generating the response. Qwen has also started generating the response. Claude is still thinking. Now DeepSeek has finished the response. Qwen has also finished the response. Claude is still generating, and it has now finished the output as well. So in this test, DeepSeek was fastest, then Qwen, and then the Claude model. Now let's look at the result from all three. So if you look at the result from DeepSeek, it has given first the Python code to create all the three files that we have needed. It's creating the system logs folder. It is opening an auth.py file, and it is writing this code which is creating the auth.logger class file. It is using the logger functions as well that we have asked it to. Then it is creating the net.py file. Again, it is writing the netlogger class file using the log info commands. And finally, it is making the db.py file, again making the dblogger class, making the log info functions. And next step was to delete any file ending with .tmp. For that, it is using OS library and using os.remove_temp file. And for checking if the file is ending with .tmp, it is using the Claude library, and it is checking in current working directory if .tmp files are there, or in the system logs folder if .tmp files are there, then remove all those files. Then it has given the command line tools as well that we had asked. It is making the auth.py file using the POSIX commands in terminal, and it has given that similarly for net.py and db.py also you can use the similar commands. And finally, delete all the files ending with .tmp. So mostly it has given the correct code, but here it has asked us to create the POSIX commands for the net.py and db.py file. So it has not completely given all the codes that we have wanted. Now let's look at the Qwen output. Now Qwen has directly given the terminal commands, which is mkdir to create the system logs folder. Then to create the Python files as well, it is using the direct terminal commands, using the logging module from Python to add the loggers. First it is creating the auth.logger file, then netlogger file, then db.py file. Then it is checking the tmp files and deleting them all. So it has given me all the steps in the direct terminal commands format that I had wanted, and it has also given me some notes that mkdir ensures the directory is created. Then kite file writes the specific content into each file. Find will find the files and delete every file ending with .tmp. So it has given me a correct output in very less time taken as well. Now let's look at the Claude output. So first it is creating the three Python files. It has created the auth.py file, net.py file, and the db.py file here. It is also using the logging module, so that is also captured. Now it is cleaning up any .tmp files. It is finding and deleting all files, but I'm seeing like it has not given the correct commands that I should use that will delete all the files that are ending with .tmp. So it is manually checking and deleting files but not giving the commands that I have wanted. And then it has given me the sequential operation summary. This is the operation, this is a command. But here also I see like this writing auth.py file command, it has not given here. To create the new folder, it has correctly given the command. To find and delete the .tmp files also it has given the command, but I'm not seeing any command to write the different files using the terminal commands that is given by DeepSeek and the Qwen models. So we are seeing how this new model is able to do autonomous tasks which are multi-step in the objective that we had given. So if you want to build an autonomous developer agent today, you can start with the DeepSeek models or the Qwen 3.6 latest models, and they will save you a ton of debugging time. Now I'm going to give these models a test to create a browser-based mobile game. The challenge will be to build a fully playable ping pong game using only an HTML file. So again, I'm going to make a new chat window in all of the three models, and I'm going to give the same prompt in all the three. The task would be to write a single HTML complete file using only the canvas and vanilla JavaScript commands, and it should render a fully playable retro-style ping pong game. The game should include a score counter, a pedal controlled by mouse, a bouncing ball with accelerating speed, and colorful neon aesthetics. And I'm giving it a strict command to do not use external assets, so it builds an independent HTML file correctly. So again, I will press submit on all the three models. DeepSeek has instantly given me the output. Now Claude is giving me the output. Now it is still thinking right now. Qwen model has started giving me the response. Now Claude is also building the HTML code, and it has given the complete HTML code now, which I can download. The DeepSeek is still generating while Claude has given me the full output. Qwen model is also still generating the HTML code like you see here. So in this speed test, the Claude model is clearly beating the DeepSeek and the Qwen models, but let's see the output generated by all three. So DeepSeek model is now finished generating. I can download the HTML file. Now let's look at the output generated by DeepSeek and Claude while Qwen is generating the HTML code. So here is the output generated by DeepSeek model. I can just click to start the game again. So I can see the right pedal, but I'm not able to see the left pedal here. So this is an issue generated by the DeepSeek model, that the left pedal is not at all there. Let's see in the instructions what it is saying. It is saying move mouse and pedal will follow the y-axis. Ball will accelerate after each pedal hit, and press R to restart. So I'm not seeing any instructions how I am going to use the left pedal here. So I'm seeing the speed command here as well. Like whenever you hit the ball, the speed will increase. Let's say if I hit the ball, the speed is increasing now. But the major issue is there that left pedal is not at all there. Now let's see the output of the Claude model. So here both the pedals are there. There is a player and an AI. So let's start the game. Well, I'm not even able to start the game here. I'm pressing all the keys, but nothing is starting. There are also no instructions like how to start the game. So we can can say that the thinking was right. Like one player should be controlled by user, the other should be controlled by AI. The theme is also correct, both pedals are there, but I'm not even able to play the game here. Now Qwen has also generated the response. Let's just download it and play. So here I'm able to control the left pedal while the red model is controlled by the AI, it seems. And the theme is also correct. The ball is also giving a nice animation when it is being hit by the pedal. It is also accelerating if more pedals are hit. Like you can see here that the speed is now fast. Let's see if I'm able to beat this AI. Yeah, it is playing really well here. I'm still not able to beat. This is a very long well. So now the ball is stuck on the top edge. This should have been avoidable by the code written, but now this will go endless, so there is no winner at all. So we can see the game is generated very well. There are neon theme pedals. The ball is also giving nice animations. It is speeding up as well. There are score counters as well. So the best output is given by the Qwen models, even when it was taking the longest time compared to the other two models. So the DeepSeek model was lacking a bit in the logical capability because it didn't add any AI player. Claude was having good visual and the outline, but it didn't code the game well at the end, so we were not able to even start it. While the Qwen model had the best output, it had the best AI player, it had the score counters, and it had all the visual elements as well. So now comes the fourth test where I'm going to test DeepSeek to its absolute limit. I'm going to ask it to generate a heavy output, and I'm going to test whether it is able to generate the final response, as it is claiming that it has a massive 380k output token window. So I'm going to give the same prompt to all the three models again. I'm going to ask them to generate a 10-chapter technical specific documentation for a scalable real-time chat application using WebSockets, Redis, and Go. Each chapter should have at least 500 words, including database scheme, API routing definitions, and error handling flowcharts as well. So I'm going to press submit on all the three models again. DeepSeek has started generating the response. Qwen has also started generating the response, while Claude is still thinking. So here again in speed, DeepSeek and Qwen models are beating the Claude model. So both Qwen and DeepSeek are generating the responses. DeepSeek has also generated the database diagram. Claude model is creating its internal document for the final report. So as I have given a very long task, it will check the output limits of all these three models. So now Qwen and DeepSeek model have completely finished the generation. Claude model is still generating the response, so it is slowest right now. So now if I check the output, it has correctly given me the chapter-wise summary for all the different documentation sections. So it is really able to generate very long responses easily. So the claim of 380k output token capability is actually real with this test results that are given by the model. It has given the SQL code, the diagrams, the codes for the diagrams as well. And if I go below, like in each section, I can see like all the different requirements of the documents are generated. The flowcharts are also given nicely. And now let's see if it is able to generate all the 10 sections. So yeah, chapter 10 is also there. And finally, it has given that it has given a production ready blueprint. Each chapter exceeds 500 words and includes actionable schemas, diagrams, and configuration examples. So it has correctly given me the output without breaking the output token window. Now let's look at the Qwen response. So it has started with chapter 1, given me paragraph style explanations for everything, but I'm not seeing any SQL code or the flowchart diagrams that is given by DeepSeek correctly. Then it has given chapter 2. So again, everything is plain response. There are no diagrams, there are no codes that are given for the different architectures. And if I scroll down below, let's see if it is able to generate all 10 chapters. And yeah, it has given me the diagram in one of the chapters, which is a mermaid flowchart that I had asked. For chapter 9 as well, it has given the flowchart. For chapter 10, it has not given anything. And maybe its output window limitation exceeded, because for chapter 10, I'm not seeing the 500 word requirement that I had, that each chapter should have at least 500 words. But here I'm not seeing 500 words generated. I can also check the count. I can just copy it, go to Google and check word count, paste it here, and I'm seeing only 60 words generated here. So here you are seeing like the Qwen output generation limit reached, so it was not able to generate all the 10 chapters with the word. Now let's look at the output of this Claude model. So it has given me the complete document as a doc format. I can just download it and open it in. So I can directly open it here in the Claude terminal, but it has failed to load the document. Let's try to download it and open it in Word. In Microsoft Word also there are errors in the file. So it has listed all the 10 chapters. It has given the key features as well, but the document is not being able to open. So I'm not really able to check what is the output, what are the SQL codes, whether it has written them, whether it has created the flowcharts that I had asked. So here Claude model is again having issues in the output generated, like in this last ping pong game as well, because there may be some errors that are there in the file. So directly you cannot rely on the output generated by the fast Claude models. Now let's move on to the fourth test. I'm again going to open new chats, select the fastest versions in all the three. So I'm going to paste the same prompt in all the three models. And here in the final test, I'm going to test whether these models are able to handle ambiguous edge cases. I'm going to feed them a Python script that crashes due to missing dictionary keys. So in the prompt, I'm going to say that review this snippet, which is define process data, and to return the dictionary keys in the data if the status of those dictionary keys is and the age of those dictionary keys is greater than 18. I'm going to ask them that the code base is frequently passing dictionary items missing both the status and age keys, which causes fatal runtime errors in production. So review this function to be maximally robust and briefly explain all your failsafe that you are adding. So again, I'm going to press submit in all the three. DeepSeek has started generation again. Qwen has also started generating the Python code. Claude is identifying the issues. Now it is generating the Python code as well. It has finished generation. DeepSeek has also finished generation, and Qwen model has also finished generation. So all the three models in this test case took almost same time, because this was very small task and they just had to check all the edge cases. So now let's look at the output from the DeepSeek model. So first it is processing the data. It is checking the data type, whether the data is in a list format. Then for each item in data, it is checking if it is in a dictionary format. Then it is trying to get the status from item.getStatus. If the status is not active, then it is continuing. Then from that item, it is getting the age. It is first converting the age to a numerical format. If there is any error while converting, it will just assign a 0 value to age. Then it is checking if the age number is greater than 18. Then it will append them to result and finally returning the result. So it has properly added all the error handling for all the different data types that we have. For each item, it is checking whether the status is active and the age is greater than 18 or not. And if any of these is false, it is directly continuing to the next item. Otherwise, it is appending them to the result list that will be outputted finally. So with this kind of code, there will be no error thrown and the code will continue to execute even if we have some data formatting issues. Now let's look at the output from the Qwen model. It has also made a function. It is checking if the data is of list or tuple format. So here we can see like tuple is also added, which was missed by the DeepSeek model because the input data can be in tuple type as well. So if it is not in these types, it will throw a type error. Then it is also making a result list. It is checking if each item is of disk format or not. It is getting the status and age. If status is not active, then it is continuing. If the age is not in int or float format, it is also continuing. And if age is less than equal to 18, again it is continuing. Otherwise, it is going to append the D in the result. So I find the code is more proper here. There are simply 3 cases where we have to skip the item, and if all 3 is false, then it will append the correct item to the result list. But in the DeepSeek, there was a complicated structure. Like first there was an if, then there was a try except, then again there was an if, and in final if there was a result.append item. So from the code generated by Qwen, it is directly visible all the test cases, and if all of them fails, then we will append the data in the result. So the Qwen code is more easily understood to a beginner if they are looking at this code for a first time. Now let's look at the output from the Claude model. So again, it is checking if the data is of list format. Again, it has missed the tuple format. It is iterating over all the items in data. It is checking the dict format. It is using a logger module here, which is a correct thing because we will be able to check the logs again if we are running some other codes as well. Then it is getting the status and age from the item. If the status is not of string format, then it is saying that again this is missed by the earlier 2 models as well. Let's say if the status is just given as 2, then both of those models will throw errors because they will check the int format with a string format. So the Claude model is correctly checking if the status is on string format first. Then for age, it is checking if the age should be in int or float. Then it is converting the age to 0 if it is given as none. And finally, there is a single check if status.lower is active and age is greater than 18, then append them to results. In case of any error, it will log those errors using the logger module. So the best code given seems to be from the Claude model because it is able to capture most of the edge cases. Just that one tuple format of the input data is still missed by the Claude model, which was captured by the Qwen model. So you see all the 3 models have some kind of issues here and there, but most of the requirements are correctly captured by all 3. So how should you use these new models in real world? DeepSeek V4 is custom built for agentic workflows and long context orchestration due to its big context window and the output capabilities as well. In fact, NVIDIA has also posted this blog on how to build using these DeepSeek V4 models using the GPU accelerated endpoints of Blackwell from NVIDIA. So you can host these models locally or through the endpoints from this NVIDIA developer program, and you can process massive logs, write entire code bases, or manage file systems autonomously. So these models are not just simple chatbots. You can connect them to terminal, give access to your files, and let them work autonomously. So the era of typing every function is over. You can build the agents and let them handle heavy lifting while you manage the high-level architecture. So the final verdict according to me is that DeepSeek V4 model has very good output window limits and very low cost compared to the other AI models. So you can use this model for heavy refactoring or to build backend AI agents. So stop relying on just one AI model. Start using the new V4 model released by DeepSeek in your own local workflows and let me know how it works. I'll place the links to these official blogs and the GitHub repo having all the prompts that I've used today. Just check the description and the pinned comment below. You can use the similar prompts for your projects as well. So grab them right now and start testing the model. Follow the channel for more such AI builds, updates, and workflows.